it's not a normal job doesn't mean you can't make it a job. And I think now more than ever, it is clear skateboarding can be someone's life, their career, you know, passion too.
Sierra Prescott, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So, if you could, tell us a little bit about yourself. Story behind your page, what got you into skating, and sharing your experiences with everyone.
Yeah, I guess just to look at my page, you will see it is all skateboarding. That is what I love to do. It's been a passion of mine since I was a kid. I somehow very organically made it into a social media career. To kind of get back to how I started with that, I started skateboarding as a kid, started taking pictures as a kid, and then when I got to school, went to college, did the photo thing, started my career. And then as I was kind of getting started with that and went solo, I had a little bit more time and I started to kind of capture myself. I was taking videos and photos of myself skateboarding. I would set a camera down, my iPhone, wherever it could be, and I would just capture myself skateboarding. And I put that online and, 1, 2, 3, here we are. I feel lucky. I think it was a great time of skateboarding. It started to grow and become a little more of a commercial thing. That was right when I had the freedom to capture myself any way I wanted. And Instagram and Facebook were my outlet for that.
But recording it and putting it online and kind of making it in where you were actually alone and sharing that with everybody, I'm wondering, are there any insights that you gained during that experience? Either good experiences in the beginning or bad experiences, or any lessons learned in that period of time from when you first started to kind of where you are now?
Yeah, tons. When I really break down, like you're saying, why did I want to capture myself? As a photographer, my initial spark with it was the fact that I can capture things that you don't see so readily with your normal eyes. So that was sports for me. You see these athletes make these moves, just perform in a way that it happens so quick sometimes, but you might be able to catch that that form of them. It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's got it's romantic. It has so much story behind a shape your body can make and how impressive that can be. So when it took to social media, I was skateboarding has so many moments in it, the landing, the startup, the peak moment, there's so many other things you can look at.
That's absolutely true. And I even feel even just on a larger scale too, it's so cool to see all of the little pieces work together.
I felt like it was all about that peak moment, but that wasn't what I wanted to show. I wanted to show all that other stuff that make up that peak moment. How do you get there? We know what a kickflip looks like when you're up and the board's flipping underneath you. But that back foot catch, board flipping, and you get that moment right when that back foot catches it and then you land it, that's the moment. Being able to show people the other things involved is so fun.
That's absolutely true. And I even feel even just on a larger scale too, you have young people who look at these seasoned professionals. That could have been their 5,000th kickflip. Fluid and seamless for the professional, of course. Someone watching it, a bystander, to be able to see all the little steps. It's beautiful and gives you sort of a how-to guide also if you wanted to replicate it yourself. Wondering, you also said there's a lot of organic Sierra in there, and moving forward, that's what you mostly say yes to. So I'm wondering, on a deep down level, spiritually, physically, who is Sierra Prescott and what does she want the world to know about her vibe?
It's interesting because as I've gotten older, I've shifted a little bit from that, a little more of a selfish trail or to, it's all about the kids for me now. I want to show kids that it's possible to follow your dreams, your passions, to actually do something that you like. Work doesn't have to feel like work all the time. You don't have to do what someone else thinks you should do, or just because it's not a normal job doesn't mean you can't make it a job. And I think now more than ever, it is clear skateboarding can be someone's life. It could be their entire life, their career, their passion too. It's like the fun and the work, and that's where I feel like I get to live, where it is something that people want to collaborate with me to share an idea that involves the lifestyle of skateboarding. You know, that is a new marketing strategy that opens a lot of doors for people to actually do it forever and do it in a way that serves them as well, not just as a passion, in any way, shape, or form that they want to take it.
When was like the aha moment that like this is going to be my life? Was there like a moment or a series of moments?
Well, one of the most pivotal moments was when the decision that I was going to photography school. And I wasn't just going to any photography school, I was going to the most renowned one in the state on like this side of the United States. And it was technical and hard as heck. And I knew it was go time.
Which school was this?
Brooks Institute of Photography, which is no longer existing.
Oh no.
We're this amazing little clan of really technical photographers, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything. I had so much fun with that.
You're learning something that you're passionate about. It's a whole different vibe than learning something that you have to learn for just like the grade. Mm-hmm. On that note, I actually have, this is a two-part question. What is one project that you really big time enjoyed? I know there's a lot, but if you had to pick one, and then what is an upcoming project that you'd like to share with us that you're super excited for?
I think this.
Shredders. I love that.
Yeah, let's let them know. This was like the ultimate passion project. And I say that not just because it's a book about skateboarding and I photographed it and that's the two things I wanted. It's not just that. It means a lot to me because I got approached for it. It was something that someone saw in me. She saw that I could probably do something like that. Or like, hey, it seems like something kind of up your alley. Have you ever thought about it? And when she approached me and she just flat out, have you ever thought about a book? And I was like, thought about it? I was like, a book? A book is like I'm a professional photographer. A book is a big deal. A book is like a serious anthology of your work. You know, I never had thought about like a book, you know, like what would I don't have a body of work, you know, so I was very like humbled, but also curious. Like, what are we talking about here? Well, let's talk about it. If you could write a book, if you could do a book, run your brain. Like, what would you do it on? Think of certain details. And she like basically gave me a framework, a blank proposal from Penguin Random House. And she was like, fill this in to the best of your ability. Just go through, fill it in. It took me longer to figure out what I wanted to do than it did to actually write the book. And I think it was just such an opportunity for me to really hone in on something that meant a lot to me. Skateboarding and being able to capture it as something that anyone can do. Any girl, any person, any age, any style, any capacity. I wanted to communicate that those are all skateboarders. And like at the time when skateboarding was starting to get a little bigger, I saw it as an opportunity to get, you know, more girls to start.
Very cool. And now I have to ask you, because there's this commencement speech video from Jim Carrey that I really love, where he talks about his father, and you know, you talk about how you love what you do. And Jim Carrey took a stab at doing what he loved to do because his father, he watched his whole life. He was like a CPA or some very boring financial job.
Very boring. Some people love numbers.
Well, he did it for like 20 years or something, and then the company fired him. And he didn't do it because he loved it. He had actually like a love for the arts or something else, but he did it because it was stable. And then he told Jim Carrey something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, but you know, you can fail at what you hate too. You may as well do what you love. And so I'm wondering, because you obviously love what you do very much, and that's a beautiful blessing. Are there any days that you've had where you say to yourself, thank God I love doing this because today's a hard day? And kind of any sort of things that you did to help shake yourself out of that, because it can't always just be the most easy path on earth, even if you're doing what you love.
Specifically, when we're talking about skateboarding, it's obviously a physical sport, but what we all kind of say, kind of like how it works, is it's 90% mental. So you're in your head, and you have to be in your head because you have to be instructing your body everything you want to do, and you also need to have like your quick wit and your reaction time so that you don't get hurt. You know, there's a lot you need to be focused on.
In your head, even in general, I know for myself, like with skateboarding or something, there's a trick that you can do, and then one day you can't do it, like when you're learning and early on, and in a lot of cases it is mental. Maybe you're having a rough day, you're thinking about things you have to do, you're not in the moment. I know what you mean.
Because it is so mental, there's a mood-based part. You can shift your mood by doing that. But for example, like if I'm on a job and like they want me to do something over and over because they just want the footage, and and I just don't want to be there, I do have to like remind myself that I'm so lucky I'm doing this. I am so fortunate. I'm so lucky that people are asking me to do things that I like to do. Of course, I'm going to have days where I don't want to because, we all have bad days or bad moods, or you wake up and you're like, my head hurts. I don't know. And today's harder than normal. Kind of like to save my soul in a way, I try not to put myself out there when I'm not feeling it. Something I've learned more recently is kind of implementing work smarter, not harder. If I don't see like it's going to happen easily, I'm going to be like, you know what? I can find another time and I can make it happen, because other times this is going to be real easy. Right now, it's not easy. So like, I'm not going to push it. So that is important.
Yeah, don't attack it if you're not up for it. It's that's actually a great rule of thumb, because the work product, in whatever industry it is, will suffer if you're not feeling it in a lot of respects. So that's nice. So you'll put it down and then come back to it at a later date when it suits you and you feel the vibe.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you have a plan, you can like set that plan and make it loose, like put a good skeleton in there and be like, all right, bare minimum, what do I want to accomplish today? What's my bare minimum? If I can go past it, what's the second and third thing I want to accomplish? But bare minimum, if I don't feel like it, one is okay. And like, that's something I like tell myself all the time.
I love that. That's a great little nugget. I think a lot of people can benefit from being patient with themselves in that respect too. A lot of people that get focused on something and they'll double down on the frustration, and then it doesn't get any better, and they're just like, sometimes taking a step away from it can really be helpful. I love that.
Just like when your iPhone is acting up, it's like, turn it off. Give it a little restart moment. We all need a little restart every once in a while.
Treat yourself at least as well as you would treat your iPhone. I think that's a good rule of thumb. Amen to that. Self on do not disturb for a period. That's something everyone could take a little lesson out of this from. I like that. So, as you mentioned, you've had certain experiences that helped you decide your next step in your career. Is there anything that you wished you would have known before starting this career and your page? If you could go back in time, this is always my favorite, and tell the younger Sierra Prescott, you can only say like this one thing, what would you tell her about your
down? I have to remind myself to slow down a lot. But let's see, getting a little bigger. I think having more fun, slowing down. I do know that when it got really heavy and a lot of things were happening and they were happening quickly, I don't think I was able to fully be present in all those and really, really appreciate the moment for what I was given. I was just working it, and I was good at that, like just like being in the work mind frame and just going through those motions, because that's what I thought I needed to do. But looking back, I wish I could have told myself to, and also don't be so hard on yourself. I think like as someone, and as a lot of people who do work for themselves, like the way we get stuff done is by being hard on ourselves and by telling ourselves that we need to do it, because we need to hold ourselves accountable. It's like if you're home doing a workout video and you're like, I don't want to do that, and no one's looking, no one knows, right? But like, if you're not holding your own self accountable for that, who else is going to?
I'm sort of wondering, what are some ways that any sort of strategies that you use to keep yourself accountable to yourself?
I think for me, the biggest thing is that my name is behind it. While I do truly believe that the best you can is good enough, I also believe there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. Always can do better. And I think that is a part of me that is a blessing and a curse, because it does get me down at times where like maybe like I can pretty much say like every single photo shoot, every single professional job I do, I will come back, and when I'm uploading, there's at least one set or one moment where I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have seen that, or like I could have done that better. If I would have seen that like I see it now, I would have done that. And I think having those moments is like kind of like that aspect of my career and the fact that I work for myself that I need. It like keeps me going. Like it's not, I don't like look at a thing and I'm like, wow, I did so good. That's so great. Done. On to the next. Like, no, I'm like, I'm already over that. Like, I don't even like that. Ugh. And then I move on. Like, I literally, like, I will like it, and then I look at it maybe 5 times, and then I'm like, that is so last week. Like, I could not even look at that anymore. I could do better. Like, I could have lit that so much better. You know, and I'll just give myself a hard time. And that's kind of like, you know, and my friends, they're like, bless them, because they're always like, Sierra, stop. It's amazing. Like, you're way too hard on yourself. And I'm like, I know, but like also I could have done better. So this is a fact. This is a true fact. Like, there is something that could have been different. And they're like, okay, but also stand back, appreciate what you did. Everyone's happy, the client's happy. The only one that's not happy is me. And that's, I think that's again what keeps me going. That's the pilot light to my career, is my name is on this. So am I going to be proud? Do I want to see stuff all over the internet and be like, not proud of that, not proud of that, not, no, I want to be like, that was a cool day. I did my best. I really liked that. Or like, I really liked how this came out. Like, I want my, you know, my story to feel like I really did my best, like I was saying. And so, I don't know, that's why I can't use half of my energy on something or do something that I'm only kind of passionate about. Like, why? We only have 40 minutes in a day. It's like, let's use those for things that we're like, heck yeah, right?
That's a great one. Thank you so much for sharing that. And wow, gosh, Sierra Prescott, thank you so much for all of your wisdom, for sharing all of your journey with us. I think a lot of people need to hear about a very unique way of pursuing your passion and having the strength to do it, and that it may feel like you're jumping into the abyss, but it turns out the abyss is a soft cushion, as testified by Sierra Prescott's story. So we big time appreciate you, and thank you for sharing this with our audience. And we look forward to maybe seeing you in Chile.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Let's go. Thank you so much. I've had an awesome time. Stay tuned for some more Adventure TED Chats.